Hello, 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 everyone. Sarah here for just a minute. James, we're having some technical issues, so he will be here momentarily, folks. So do not fret. I am just going to, vamp here until he gets back. I think he's restarting his computer. So just bear with us one moment. Oh, there he is. Hold on.
Hello?
Hello. Try it again.
Test, test, test. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, no, we're still not getting audio. I went live though, because I figured I could
No, that's fine.
just kind of fill in the gaps here while we're let me play the intro and we will get going.
Okay.
Let's go back to the beginning.
My name is Cody Brown, and you've got to meet my family. I'm a polygamist, but we're not the polygamists you think you know. I have 3 awesome wives, Mary, Janelle, and Christine. My family's on the verge of a huge change because love should be multiplied, not divided.
Wait, hello?
Yes.
Why can I not hear? So it's on my end. Hold on, you guys.
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
Why can I not hear?
I think it's on you because they hear me.
Chat, can you hear me?
I think it's on you.
Okay, Rachel can hear me. Weird.
Yeah,
Hold on one second.
Lizzie B.
Let me text my husband to bring me my headphones. Hold on.
Okay.
Can you bring me my headphones? Oh my God, you guys. I made James restart his computer, go in and go out like 5 times. I still can't hear anything. So hold on one second. Can hear you, but there's delayed playback echo. Okay, I'm going to go out and come back in. We'll see how that goes.
Hello, everybody. Hopefully everybody had a great week leading up to this. For those who are returning from last night, thank you. Missed you so much.
Hello?
I hear you. Do you hear me?
Okay, I'm going to go out one more time. Hello? Hi. For some reason, I can't hear anything. They can hear me. They can hear James. I can't hear anyone.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You're not even plugged into the sound mixer, right?
No, I am.
There's no reason if they can hear you, then you wouldn't be able to hear anything unless you're muted.
Yeah, I hear an echo too.
So,
that makes a difference.
Not muted. Okay, I'm going to restart my computer, you guys. I'll be right back. Okay.
If they can hear you, then it's an interface issue.
Okay.
All right, guys. We'll see what happens because I might get booted too because we were linked up. But anyway, hopefully everybody had a most awesome time last week. Like I was saying before, big shout out to all the mods in the house, Tiffany H, Lizzie B. I see you guys. Lottie in the house, Danny Thomas. Danny Towns back in the house. Danny Towns making it happen. What's happening? Mrs. BR Girl 09. Okay. I see you guys. Kathy Ferran in the house. All right. Got the whole crew up in here. Awesome. We're having a little bit of technical difficulty. Apparently, the yeah, I think it was tied into Sarah's sound. But that's okay. We're going to work it out. You know how it is. Every time we're about to talk about something real or we're about to get real spicy on the Sister Wives, all of a sudden there's technical problems. Like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm just saying it's a little weird that always happens. Always seems to go down on right about the right time with that. So, all right, Sarah's back.
Okay, I can hear you. Hold on.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. Told you guys we work it out. See, I told you. I have faith.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, you guys.
It's no worries.
I still
Like I
need
said.
to adjust my settings. Hold on one second.
I tell you, hey, what's up, Tina? Tina Metz. I tell you, if it wasn't for some kind of technical problems, I wouldn't have streams.
Oh
Because
my
I
goodness.
always have them.
I'm sitting here, you guys, and I'm telling James, I can't hear you. I don't know what to do. Like, blah, blah, blah. And the whole time it's me. I'm so sorry, James.
No, it's no worries. It's no worries.
All right. Sometimes restarting your computer is just what the doctor ordered. How is everybody?
Awesome. Awesome.
This was a good episode of Sister
Yeah.
Wives, season 3, episode 4, the 4 lives of Cody Brown. Is that what it was called?
Yeah,
four-
the 4 separate lives.
Yeah. I'm just going to turn you up a little bit, James.
Okay. Do you guys hear me?
All right.
There we go.
That sounds good. Because now I don't know if my computer is just, on its last leg. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that's always, anytime there's a problem, it's always like, oh man, is this it?
Let's squeak out a couple more, old girl.
Right.
You got it in ya. You got it in ya.
It's
Kathy,
setting up
I agree.
players.
Season 3 is getting salty, and really, I feel like Christine is just laying it all on the table, like where her relationship is at with Cody. There were so many things said in this episode that I was like, shit, I'm pretty sure that was said in season 18. And look, nothing's changed in.
Right.
Yeah. So real quick, I'm just going to address Amanda has taken a step back from lives. She is exploring the Bravo-verse. She's obviously welcome back if and when she decides to resume Sister Wives or she feels like coming back. So, yeah, it's all good, but she's just taking a little bit of a break. So James and I are going to dynamic duo these lives for a little bit, if that's okay with you guys. All right. So the family is in Vegas. Cody is giving the geography of where everyone is living. This is season 3, episode 4, titled The 4 Lives of Cody Brown. What I found really funny is he's citing all of these biblical polygamists, and because he's showing where all of his wives are living, and Christine, Janelle, and Robin live super close to each other, and Mary lives like a mile away. And Cody is griping. He's like, oh no, so-and-so in the Bible was a polygamist. I don't know how many tents he had. So-and-so was a polygamist in the Bible. He had like 8 wives. I don't know how many kingdoms he had. And it's like, maybe that was the issue. Like maybe polygamy wasn't what God was wanting you to take away from that story. I don't know.
Well, I think it's remarkable and quite notable that all of a sudden you start comparing yourself to people who you have no business comparing yourself with. It's almost like when people talk about like, oh yeah, because this is how Jay-Z and Beyonce do it. Like, yeah, but you don't have Jay-Z, Beyonce money. So a lot of that is irrelevant for you. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just a weird place for him to comment on it.
Right. Exactly. Like, that's awful bold of you to go comparing yourself to Abraham or David or, these like revered people from the history. Right. If that is the religion you subscribe to.
King Solomon, notably the most wisest man in the Bible, had multiple wives as well as concubines. So therefore, I am entitled, like, whoa. That's quite the leap, my friend. And like you said, David, like, the precursor to Jesus Christ. Yeah. Yeah. Probably not you, Cody. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm not, this is no diss to Cody. It's not me either. Like, I'm not putting shade on them at all. It's not me either. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't start. Yeah, you know what Jesus said. Like, come on, man, you're not Jesus. Stop it. Stop it.
You're not turning water into wine here, Cody.
Right? Exactly. Exactly. That's not what we're doing.
Yeah.
And
So
Jesus didn't have any wives. So
yeah. So the gist of this episode is we're about to see like what a day in the life is like for Cody, going for each of what each wife gets when he's at their house, which is quite telling. So we start out with Christine. And it's Christine's day, but by the time it's Christine's day, it's already nighttime. And
Right.
it's time for family dinner. So Cody says that they like to do family dinner a couple nights a week. And it's really interesting to me the nights that these fall on and whose nights they don't fall on. So Christine's night is family dinner night. They go to Michikan's, a Mexican restaurant where kids eat free. And I was like, the audacity. Like, I hope that this was just a joke, that they didn't really try to redeem 18 free meals. What did you think about that?
Oh, you know, they totally redeemed them. They did free meal. And they showed up. They was probably looking at them in the window like, oh, what the hell? Oh, hell no. Hell no. Like the manager storms off. The owner is ready to quit. You know,
Oh
that's
my
a
God.
lot of folks. That's a lot of folks. And I'd be willing to bet that because I kind of commented on it last night. Each one of the wives pretty much had a role. I know they tried to say, we're all equal wives and we do equal work. But I can see family night falling on Christine's night because she's the one that can cook. So everybody kind of gravitating over to her house. So she's forced in this labor to try to make sure to provide for the family. It was also noted that Cody started losing a lot of weight when he stopped hanging around with Christine. So he might not be eating good over at Robin's house.
Well, Robin's too pretty to cook or something, whatever he
Right.
told her.
Well, she's not the food wife. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not what
I've
that's not a role.
never been in a relationship where a guy is like, oh, that's cool. Like, I don't need to eat when I'm at your house. Like,
Right. It's okay. I go hungry.
guys want snacks.
Right. At least, if you can't cook, at least be able to order something. Like, you know what I mean?
And
Have
you
something
know,
in the
Robin
refrigerator.
couldn't even do that. Right.
Right. Well, that's part of the problem too, is that I think that with her, it was takeout. It was ordering out. You know what I mean? But yeah, with them showing up, again, it falls on Christine's night. So this is like Christine's time because Christine's supposed to be all about the family. So therefore, it's okay. But I think that also means that it also is notable, like later on when we start talking about the therapist and Cody and Christine having to go see the therapist on their anniversary. This is part of the reason why. Because if you're not maintaining your relationship between the two of you, keeping your marriage strong, having the kids there is just merely a distraction at best. And if anything, when your relationship falls apart, it's, the kids will grow up and you won't have a marriage after the kids are gone. So
that's actually a real reality for a lot of marriages when people become empty nesters and suddenly it's like, okay, we were teammates and raising kids for 18 years and now what? Now it's just us. Like, ew.
Right. It's like that COVID. Like what happened with COVID? Like, well, I don't even like you. Like I gotta sit with you.
Yeah, it's like the reality, and that took a toll on a lot of marriages because it's like, ooh, maybe I'm rethinking some things.
You're right.
But I couldn't help but notice just how starkly different Cody's experiences and the way he treated his time, how differently he treated his time in each of the households. And it starts out with Christine. It's literally he goes over to her house, they leave to go to dinner. And then I'm sure that this dinner took a couple hours at least.
Mhm.
They come home and put the kids to bed and then they go to bed. Then he gets up in the morning and leaves. So when Christine's right, and when she says, okay, like he's here, but he's never here. Like we never hang out. He's not working on our relationship.
Right. Right. And I think that, again, I think that that's an excellent point, because it goes back to what eventually happened in season 16, 17, and 18 as the family, or as their marriage fell apart and they separated. That was one of the big things she was saying, and she was putting them out. Like, we don't have, you're not coming over here to spend time with me. You're spending time over there at Robin's house, especially when they moved into that cul-de-sac. And the best thing that happened to him was that cul-de-sac. The worst thing that happened to him was that cul-de-sac, because at that point, when Cody's gone all day, she looks across the cul-de-sac and she sees his car in Robin's house, or he pulls it into the garage, but she saw it pull in there last night, and she know he didn't leave at night and he didn't leave that morning. So the car has been sitting over there the whole day. And then about 10 minutes before he comes over her house, the garage goes up. He drives out of the cul-de-sac, the neighborhood. He maybe goes to the store, comes back, and he pulls into Christine's place like he was out doing something. And she could see it. So it was in the face. But I think that at this point, it was just merely like speculation. Like, she had an idea that that's where he was spending his time at, but she couldn't prove it. But when they got to Vegas, it was clear as a bell that that's what he was doing.
Janelle tells us that you can't go comparing your relationship with Cody to your sister wives' relationships with Cody. That's like that will just kill the vibe of the family. But maybe if they had, maybe some of these issues would have been addressed sooner.
Right.
Because the inequality is very apparent. I mean, shoot, my next note is that Christine is saying she's putting more of the responsibility for their relationship on Cody than she used to. She's not even saying that this is Robin's fault. This is on Cody. Quote, I have a lot of expectations and not enough appreciation.
Right. And I think that that's one of the subtle ways. Like, I noticed, like, early on, as I was watching Sister Wives, that they have a lot of exit ramps for responsibility for the guys. Like, so when, like, Cody talks about, like, the cloak of charity and sacred loneliness, and jealousy being the envy, and the root of, like, any downfall of any of these polygamous marriages is rooted in comparison. So you're comparing your apple to my orange and all that good stuff. So it's a way for you not to have the conversations that you need to have, because comparison is bad. If you're getting everything that you need and you see somebody else getting something that they need, and you're just jealous because you're not getting that particular thing. Your needs are being met, but you're just jealous because they need something different, and he's doing something different for him. That's bad. But it's not bad if you're spending 12 to 16 hours with Robin at her house, laughing, giggling, making sure that your relationship is solid with her, laying up in the bedroom when they went and got the stuff at the furniture store, making sure that space was nice for the two of them, and then all of a sudden you get to Christine's house and you do the dinner where you pull in at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, you go out to dinner, you don't get back home till 8:30, 9 o'clock, then 9 o'clock. Well, I got to get up early in the morning, girl, so we might as well go to sleep. What about sexy time? Well, I'm too tired for that. I'll catch you next week. But you know that she's getting it. So it's nothing wrong. Like, in my mind, if you guys are going to share a husband, you need to be able to share what's going on and be able to make those types of comparisons, not necessarily to your detriment, but to be accountable.
Yep. And, so he basically scoots right out the door as soon as he wakes up in the morning at Christine's, and he's off to Robinson. They got a full day planned. They're going to an ultrasound and they're going to find out the gender. And I actually thought that this was interesting. Robin had never found out the gender of her previous 3 kids. So this was like a new experience for her. I thought, oh, that's exciting. I know a ton of my, maybe not a ton, but I know several of like friends and, acquaintances that chose not to find out the gender. And I would have freaked out. Like that uncertainty would have like freaked me out. So I don't know how people do that. That is wild to me. Did you, with your daughter, find out ahead of time?
Son and daughter. I have one of each.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah. No, it's no worries. No worries. No fault. But with both of them, absolutely, I went down there and found.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I mean, of course I did. I mean, you're already there for the ultrasound. So yeah. It's part of it. I paid for it. Hey, we're gonna do all this. I want all of it, soup to nuts. I want all of it.
You're gonna get your money's worth.
Exactly.
That's the way my husband is too.
Yeah. I want everything I got coming to me. I want all the fries you can give me.
I gotta make sure I have a name picked out. Like my mom didn't know with my brother and I, and she was like, "Well, it was the 80s, like whatever." She's like,
"That's just what we did." Yeah,
they didn't really do that. Like, okay. She's like, "Yeah." So my brother, his name is Matt. Also, my husband's name is Matt. I've talked about that that was an issue at first, but anyways, if my brother was a girl, his name was going to be Jessica. And I was like, okay, so my brother's 15 months older than me. So I said, well, why isn't my name Jessica then? She goes, I don't know. I just didn't like the name anymore. I'm like, okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You're a wishy-washy woman, aren't you?
All right. I mean, if that people have to run it how they run it. I mean, there's no good or bad either way. But I think that for certain personalities, like I needed to have that planning. Like I wanted to know what I was getting so that way I could start planning out the nursery and the items I was going to purchase. That's all it was for me. Like it wasn't even, and for the most part, because I'm very sensitive about safety when it comes to childbirth and all that. And like I said, a lot happens in that 9 months. Yeah. My primary concern was always the safety and well-being of the children. So,
of course,
I just wanted them to be healthy. I didn't care whether it's a boy or girl. I just wanted them to be healthy.
Full stop. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm not even talking about like, I'm hoping for a specific gender. I just need to know because my love language is not surprises. So, I'm a planner. So.
Right. Exactly. What is it? Especially if you get a mumble mouth doctor. It's a what?
Yeah.
A what?
What's funny is we found out the gender of my daughter when my husband and we were on our honeymoon in Ireland. So we got a like international phone call while we were in the airport. And I was like, it's a girl. And, and we're not big. Can we talk about the fact that so they find out, but then they can't tell anybody because it has to be a big to-do. Robin has to yet again announce to the family that, surprise, it's a boy. Nobody cares but you, Robin. Promise you nobody cares. That was the best advice I was given when I was pregnant was that nobody cares what gender your baby is but you.
Right. Like, I mean, the only way if it would be a surprise, particularly in that family, is if you came out and was like, it's a unicorn. Other than that, like they have boys, they have girls. Like Cody, and this is one of the weird things, especially with Cody, because he's duplicated himself so much with so many different people. Is it really, you know what I mean? Every child is special, but after you did it 20 times, it's kind of...
Oh my God. And I had so much secondhand cringe when they're sitting there at the ultrasound place and they're like, this is our 17th kid. And the ultrasound tech is like, oh, wow. Like, damn, Robin, you look good for having 17. Yeah. Oh, no. Like, this is our first together. He has 17 by 4 different women. And she was like, oh, like, Okay. Like,
And
congratulations.
you're proud of that.
Yeah.
You're proud of that. Like,
Yeah, it's like the oversharing. I love it. It's like on Love After Lockup, there's just a running joke that whenever these people like encounter like a cashier or a
mm,
someone like just some sort of customer service worker out in the wild, it's always, oh, I'm doing X, Y, and Z because my partner is getting out of prison. It's like,
yeah.
nobody asked you. You did not
Right,
get to
right.
volunteer that information.
Yeah, the best ones are when the guys go to the jewelers and they're buying engagement rings and they're
Yes,
like, "Yeah, I'm getting this for my girl." Okay, she's gonna love this. How long you guys known each other? Well, she's in prison.
exactly.
Mm.
Exactly.
Yeah, she killed her last husband. Oh, okay. All right.
But
Okay.
I'm different.
Yeah, right. She used to rob jewelry stores. Like, oh yeah, you guys gonna have to get the hell out of here. 'Cause, yeah. And like you said, I did notice that the one thing that was kind of weird to me, and it really like just popped out to me because of my own sensitivities when it comes to stuff like this, is the fact that that was another secret. Like the thing that we're going to hold this back and we're going to keep it from the family. Like I was like, you just don't learn because you got in trouble with the secret about the dress. You got in trouble with the secret about like the stuff that happens. I understand that they have their private, separate relationships, but like they're always trying to keep a secret. And it was so pronounced on the show that Robin and Cody once again have a secret. They're not telling everybody all the information. And it just seemed like one more thing that they were doing, a good for good or not. It's just that one more secret that they're keeping.
Well, and you know who like super doesn't care what gender Robin's baby is? Your other kids. I promise
Right.
you. And so this is going to be another opportunity for Robin to feel slighted by Hunter for not like, jumping for joy that the baby is a boy. It's like you're setting yourself up for failure. And I feel like it's
Right.
really unfair to like the other kids. The wives, Christine has had 6 of her own. Janelle has had 6 of her own. Mary has had to witness 12 other kids be born that while she
Right.
struggles with fertility. I promise you, none of these women give a shit what you're having.
Right. Right. It is the fact that like the craziest part is that like for especially for Janelle's kids who kind of know where the money is going and what's coming in and what's going out and who's bringing it in and who's spending it. So when they look at it, they're like, look, we just started eating regular. And
Yeah.
then here this one come talk about I'm pregnant with another, you know what I mean? So I don't care that it's another boy, girl. All I know is another bill that we can't afford. So
Yeah.
no, I'm not super excited about it. And like you said, that's a great point because yet again, this is another thing that it's another call for her to be the center of attention on the show. Then it's another call for everybody to rally around her because this important thing is happening to me. And then it's another point when everybody isn't excited and lining up to kiss ass just right, left cheek, right cheek. Then all of a sudden it's, oh, I can't believe they're treating me like this. They always treat me like an outsider. No, sometimes when you do something crazy, family will call you on stuff faster than you might call out a stranger. Like family will be honest with you where strangers won't. So them being honest with her might just be them accepting you. That's how they accept you.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So Robin, the other thing that I noticed that was really interesting is that Robin is just praising Cody, that he is just so helpful with everything. We see he's loading the dishwasher, he's doing homework, he's putting the kids to bed. He is domesticated at Robin's house, where he literally is like a bump on a log, pretty much useless at every other house, except for when Janelle tries to get him to hang a TV, and that goes like terribly wrong. But regardless, it's so funny. He's so proactive at Robin's, and Robin's just like, oh my gosh, I'm so lucky. I don't know why these women are complaining.
Right.
Just
What's
treat it
wrong
like
with
it's your
them?
honeymoon. Don't require anything of him.
Yeah, because that's what he's looking for. Well, you know what? Because it kind of goes back to like that season, was it episode the same season, season 3, episode 3, where Janelle had said, you know, when I was watching, they went out for the furniture. And Janelle was like, when she first came into the family, it used to disgust me how Robin used to treat Cody. Like she always played the damsel in distress. And, you know, Cody likewise would respond to that damsel in distress as the knight in shining armor.
Right.
So the experience that Janelle, Christine, and Mary had with Cody is completely different. And this is where it would get weird if Robin was trying to do the comparison. Like, I don't understand why Cody treats you guys with so much deference, but when he comes over my house, he doesn't necessarily respect me as an independent person, because he's taking care of you, because your relationships are a little bit different. But when he goes over to Janelle, he kept saying to her during that episode, he kept saying to her that, oh, she's like a buddy, she's like a man. You know, I go over and we talk business and stuff. And you could see Janelle's face, she was hurt. But that, to me, that kind of ties into the whole thing with how he sees these other 3 women. He sees them as the OG3 were his friends, whereas Robin was his wife. And there was a subtle difference.
Yes. Yep. Actually, that's so interesting that you just said that, because I think at one point, is it about Mary? He says that like he loves Mary, but that they fight like brothers and a brother and sister.
Right.
I have never described an interaction, and my husband and my brother have the same name. I have never described an interaction as like, oh, that's just something I would do with my brother.
Right. You know why, Sarah? You know why you haven't done that? Because you're not a weirdo. That's why you haven't done that. Mystery solved.
D calls it out. They don't go weird, James. They don't go weird.
Right. Because that would be weird, especially when you come from. Let's put it all in the. Let's lay it out on the tapestry of ridiculousness for the reality show, which is the polygamy propaganda program. This is a show that's supposed to be dissuading people away from the stereotypes of polygamy. Yet and still, this man is describing his wife as his sister.
We fight like brothers and sisters. And then when they go furniture shopping, in the last episode or episode before that, he describes his relationship with Janelle as like 2 dudes. They just like get together and talk business. And we see that when he goes to Mary's house, they're talking about, so when he's at Christine's house, they're talking family. They're going out as a family. When he's at Mary's house, they need to talk about the fact that they need to get jobs or make a job, start a business. And then they have the business meeting at Mary's house. Then when he's at Janelle's, it's more talking about business. But when it's at Robin's, it's all about the romance, the honeymoon, the fairy tale.
Right. And this is where it would get weird, because I understand that your relationships may be slightly different because you're dealing with different people. I get that. However, this would be a point where somebody who is in these relationships may use the sort of comparison and say, look, this doesn't make sense because you're not treating me as though how I want to be treated. And I think that you do have an expectation to be treated how you want to be treated in a relationship.
100%.
I don't want to be treated. Yeah, I don't want to be treated like your buddy. I'm not your buddy. I'm not your friend. If I'm your lover, I'm your husband, and that's what I am. We might be friendly and we might be friends like that as a foundation of relationship. But I'm, when it pushes down and shove, like, I ain't your cousin. I like that one girl from Sister Wives. Don't kiss me like that. I ain't your buddy.
I think I called my husband dude once, like back when I was still drinking, and my husband was like, "Don't call me dude. Like, I'm not your dude, like I'm your dude, but like, like
I'm just
like
not
I'm
some
your
rando."
husband."
Right, exactly. I'm not some rando that you just, hey bud, what's up, friend? Like, no.
Yeah, like bro, like whatever. Like,
right.
Yeah.
And if that's your love language, by all means, if that's your love language and that's how you refer to your significant other, do you, boo-boo. But it's just, when you call them out and you describe your relationship, because that's what we're talking about. It's not just the title. Just in fairness, we're not just talking about the title or calling somebody a name. You might call them whatever you call them. You fuzzy face, kitty cow meow, whatever you call your significant other. It is what it is. But the relationship, how you describe the relationship, I think it's very revelatory in the sense that, like you said, with Janelle, she's the friend, she's the buddy. And I think Janelle was the buddy and the friend who he talked business with, because technically he treated Janelle like she was the second husband, because she was out there also providing in the stereotypical male role of going out providing for the family.
I feel like he treated Janelle as his intellectual equal more so than the other three.
Right.
And that's why I think probably why Janelle was so turned off. Like, why would Robin want to play this damsel in this distress? Like, how does Cody find that attractive?
Right.
That's really interesting to me. Like, Janelle just did not get it that would be attractive to a man.
Well, you know what's weird? Because I think that you just kind of reminded me of something. You ever have a friend who they start dating somebody, or right before they start dating somebody, you find out that this person is interested in your friend, whether it's male or female, whatever. And you say to yourself, there's no way they're going to go out with this person because their standards are so high. And the way they see themselves, they would never be with this person. Yeah. And then all of a sudden they had love, they booed up like, what the hell? And I think that's kind of the energy that Janelle had. Like, Cody is a kind of man, he wants a woman that he can respect. And when I talk to him, and this is usually where it comes from, when I talk to him, he tells me all the time that he respects a woman who is strong, independent, knows what she wants, able to provide for herself. She's not relying on him to provide everything that she wants or she needs. She's able to be independent enough to go out and do the things for herself that she needs. That's what Cody tells me all the time. And then here Cody is going for the exact opposite. And I think that also plays into season 18 where they're sitting around, or even season 17, I'm sorry, where they're sitting in the restaurant, Bravo restaurant once again. And he tells her that she's too much of an independent woman. And she looks at him and says, I thought that's what you wanted.
Exactly.
I thought that's what you liked, Yeah.
I don't think Janelle really did sign up for patriarchy. She signed up to be alone and to kind of have a man sometimes. She'd have kids. She didn't even have to raise her own kids. This was the perfect situation. She could have a family, but she got to nope out of the stuff that she didn't want to participate in, and that worked for Janelle.
Right. And God bless her, because she knew what she wanted. And she's determined to get what she wanted.
Sure.
I'm not mad at you. But at the same time, like you said, I think that she saw Cody as kind of in a weird way, Cody might have been right. She sees me as a
piece
as
of
kind
meat?
of a man toy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She used me up and then she put me out and goes on about her business. When she's in the mood, she called me over, I do my thing with the weapon, and then she give you a sandwich and she sends you on your way home. Well, take your little boy going home. Enjoy yourself.
Don't let the door hit you.
Right. The only thing she didn't do was I left some money for you on the nightstand. Whoa.
So one of the things Mary says, and I just think that this just sums up the contradiction that is Mary, and probably why she drove Cody crazy on the daily, is she says she misses seeing Cody and the family every day, but she likes being alone.
Yeah.
And I'm that just sums Mary up in a nutshell.
Well, you know what? Last night when I was doing that, the book review, one of the things that came up, and I never thought about it before. Actually, Jenny, the Singer Perspective, brought it up, and it was the idea that Mary, prior to being in Las Vegas, prior to doing the show, Mary had always been the sole wife, the sole named wife. And then when they get to Las Vegas, they're doing the show. All of a sudden, Cody's able to reveal that, oh, Christine, that's my wife. You know, Janelle, that's my wife. And most definitely, Robin,
Yeah.
that's my wife.
Yeah.
You know, and so when you lose that sense of self for what, almost 20 some odd years, almost 30 years at that point, she had been the wife no matter what. And we also have to keep in mind that during that time they were having marital problems. Their relationship was struggling right before the show, right before they brought even Robin into the family. Their relationship was struggling. And the one thing that she could probably always mentally rely on was the fact that she was the wife. She held on to that commitment. And so, and later on, it makes it even more devastating when Cody asked her for a divorce, because I totally believe Cody asked her to give him a divorce so that he could marry Robin. Yeah. So I think that like, one of the sad parts about Sister Wives, especially with Mary's story, is watching them like slowly wick away at her. Like they just peeled her down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Over season after season. It was rough. It's a rough watch.
You know what was funny to me? So Cody goes over to Janelle. So now it's Janelle's day. And he and Janelle decide to go on like a buddy date.
Right.
They're going to go do some real estate recon. And they just leave Logan in charge. It's like, if I'm Logan, I'm like, thanks, guys. Oh, and they say at the dinner that the goal is to all get back in one house by the time Logan leaves for college. If I'm Logan, I'm like, yeah, and we saw he got out of there as soon as he could.
Right.
Because this dude was so parentified. It's like, oh, it's okay. Like, we don't have to worry about, our kids because Logan's here and he'll do everything.
Right. And that's why I think my man packed his bags quick as hell. He was like, oh what? 18th birthday.
Yeah. And like no child deserved freedom more than him and Aspen, for real.
Right. And it's rough too, because one of the sad things is that when you have that happen to the kids, like even with the a lot of the Duggars from 19 and counting, like when they have that type of thing happen, it's very rare that they come out of the when they get paired off and they find their significant other. It's very rare that they start having their own children. If anything, they go years without having children because of, I grew up doing children. I don't want to do kids. I'm burnt out. Like, what I mean?
I've had 2 kids and I'm appreciating the fact that like my son was my last child.
Right.
And so like each stage we grow out of, it's like, okay, I say bye to that stage. Like for Logan, why would he want to like restart that all over again? I understand. I don't know if we've heard that they are childless by choice. I don't like to speculate on people's fertility because that is a sensitive topic. But if they are both childless by choice, I can see why,
Right.
So.
And I'm gonna be 100%. Like I keep it all the way a buck when it comes to that kind of thing. I think that if I always talk about know yourself before you get in relationships. Know yourself before you start having babies. If you know that you are not a baby person and you don't have you don't have it in you to be a parent, there's nothing wrong with you saying, you know what, it's not for me. And I'm not going to bring it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to bring kids into the world because
one of my very best friends is childless by choice. Of course, she has to field all the questions all the time about like, when are you having kids and blah, 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 blah. And that's very annoying. But she is the world's greatest aunt. She will take your kids for days at a time. She will take them to Disneyland. She is the funnest. She sends books. She sends presents. She does all the things. She just not interested in having kids. She likes to give the kids back. And that is perfectly okay. So, and it seems like from what we've heard about like Logan's relationship with like his nieces and nephews, that's kind of the vibe that he is just like the best uncle.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like because
Yeah.
this is also part of the reason why I never wanted my daughter to have the illusion that if she babysits for somebody, she watches somebody's kids, that it's the same as having children, because
Yeah.
it's not.
No.
It's absolutely not the same thing.
No.
So I think that it's along the same lines when you're like the uncle or even grandparents. Like you come by and you hand out candy, get them all juiced up, candy and soda, get the kids all amped up, play with them and get them all excited. Be like, all right, guys, I'm out of here.
Right.
And you're out the door, and you leave the kids to tear the house up with your kids so that they can get some of that get back. There's nothing wrong with that. You realize that it's not on you, and you have an exit ramp. You know that at some point tonight they're coming home, and I'm going home to my quiet house. And it's like I said, I appreciate people who appreciate know their limitations. There's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
100%.
The worst thing you can do is bring a child into this world and neglect said 18 children. Cody,
Right.
we're looking at you,
That's where I was going to go with it. Like,
Yeah.
Even if you are about having children, you love having children. And in some cases, let's be honest, some folks, they love having babies, but they don't like raising kids. So, having 18, 19 kids that you can't, carve out enough of your time, your personal time, to be able to check on them and see them. And to be honest with you, watch them grow up, enjoy them growing up, enjoy those stages. Like when they first start walking, they first start talking. And as they leave those stages where, all of a sudden they're potty trained or they don't rely on you as much, like those stages mean something. And you can't appreciate that if you're always looking at the next one, So I think you, like, even as a parent, like, it's sad that the kids, OG 13, lose out from what we see on TV. It seems like they missed out on a lot with their dad, but it's also sad on Cody's part, because if you weren't around, you missed out on a lot too.
Yep.
And in fact, I think he said that in one of the Mormonism Live interview podcast, where he said that for Solomon and the youngest daughter, Ariella, he said that part of the reason why he's so excited about spending time with him, because he never got to do that with his older kids. And that's sad in and of itself.
Yeah. And then there was this one thing at the end of this episode that Mary said, and I'm like, well, shoot, if this isn't something that we heard, I'm pretty sure we heard it when it was the look at the mountain conversation in season 16. So here in this episode, Mary is telling us in a couch interview that she sometimes gets mad at Christine because, Christine has had this great relationship with Cody, and now Christine just is not faking the funk, and she's letting Cody know that he's being a shit husband. And like, Mary just wishes Christine would take a lesson from her and see how, like, the relationship struggles she went through with Cody. And it's like, oh my God, this is a recurring theme.
Right. And it's also notable that, and I don't really mean it because it's kind of cruel to laugh at Mary in that situation, but it's also notable that Mary is taking a position and look at me and my relationship. You could be like me. And later in season 17, she's basically saying, I don't want to be like that. That's not what I want with my life.
Exactly. First of all, let's take a note from Janelle and say we aren't going to compare our marriages. But if we're going to compare, like, what I loved what Christine says in like season 17, I think it's like, well, if I'm going to compare marriages, how come I can't have Robin's marriage with Cody?
Right.
Why do I have to have Christine or Mary's?
Mary's, yeah. The Mary experience. That's not the one I want.
Right. If I get to pick.
Right. Why can't I have the BMW? You got to ride the car. There's like 8 colors. Different color hood and trunk. But and that's the whole thing. And especially with them saying, like, Mary, what she was essentially saying, at least how I interpret it, was essentially, the whole keep sweet and keep
Yeah.
quiet, keep sweet,
Keep quiet.
and
Yeah.
pray and obey. You know,
Yeah.
and that's basically what it is. This is how you survive. You just don't say anything. You just
Yep.
suffer in silence. It'll be okay. And then he'll like it also the part that I'm sorry, because the part that annoys the hell out of me, if I'm gonna be honest with you, is with that, it's the idea that if you keep quiet long enough, then your husband is going to recognize your suffering and say to himself, she has suffered so much that I have to start treating her with respect. And that never happens because
Yeah.
once they start taking and they start getting rewarded for what they're not giving you, and you're giving them that reward, I get to treat you like crap and you're still going to treat me well. You're still going to feed me. You're still going to make a place for me at the house. You're still going to make excuses when I don't show up for the kids. You're going to do all those things and I get to do whatever I want and you're still going to do that. Why would he ever change? He has no incentive to be different.
Right.
And I think that, you know, that's what, like, that just, every time I see that, especially on this show, like, it just kind of, it sends me into the red a little bit because I know that that's where that leads. Like, there's no way that he's all of a sudden going to, you know, look at Rob and be like, you know, I'm spending too much time over here with you. I need to get over and start spending time with Mary because she's been giving me a lot of leash out here. And I need to start tightening it up for the family.
Yeah. No.
You know?
Christine wraps up the episode by saying that her marriage is no longer easy and she doesn't feel special anymore. This is season 3.
Right.
And
Well, you know
I
what?
love how we're all like shook and shocked that this family falls apart, right? Like this is such a surprise to us. This is like the slowest burn ever. But for some reason, it's still shocking.
Right. Oh my goodness. It actually happened. What I thought was going to happen happened. I think that it's also reminiscent of episode 1, season 1, episode 1, where Christine said we're being replaced. I feel like I'm being replaced and I feel like I'm losing my best friend.
Yep. In this episode, she says Cody spends all his time at Robin's.
Right.
He only does things for Robin's kids.
Exactly. And all it was we got the prediction, and then we just over the next season 1, we had the prediction on what was going to happen and what was happening and what Christine felt was going to happen. And then over the remaining 17 seasons, so first season, it was the prediction. The rest of the 17 seasons was just basically everything she said in the first season, her and the other OG3 said in the first season just came to fruition by season 18.
Right.
You know what I mean? As they say, end scene.
You want to talk a little bit about Forbidden Love?
Sure.
I really like this show. Someone, I forget who I was talking. Oh, one of my followers on Instagram was talking to me about it. And she was like, do you think you like it because it reminds you a little bit of like early days 90 Day Fiance? And I think that is what I like about it. It's like kind of like early days 90 Day Fiance. These relationships are like a mess.
Right.
Like I don't know how any of these we didn't get any Amish couple so we couldn't talk porn addiction or bestiality.
Right.
What did you think of the new couple, Chris and Lensa? Chris is the son of a Pentecostal pastor, super devoted to Christianity. I mean, this is like Christian and extra Christian. And then Lensa comes from a very strict Muslim family where she's been in 2 arranged marriages.
Right. With children, right? For both kids.
She has one child. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's just like one of the weirdest things to me is that I understand that people will meet, they'll fall in love, and emotions will be exchanged. I get that. But it's weird to me that one of your prerequisites for you to be in these types of relationships is always they have to convert over to my religion or we can't be together. Then what are we doing?
Yeah, and it's so funny. Like, I feel so bad for these two because I feel like they genuinely do love each other. Like, this is a love match, and I don't think that Lensa's we haven't met her parents yet. I don't know if we're going to meet her parents on the show, but I don't think that matters to them as far as making a marriage arrangement. And because they've tried to get her into 2 marriages and they've been unsuccessful, and it kind of seems like they just kind of gave up on trying to match her with someone. And then she like met Chris on this work call and they hit it off, and then likewise, literally, Chris's dad is not going to let this go. He's not going to let the Jesus thing go. He's not going to let the different religions thing go. I don't see how this relationship makes it. And I feel really bad because I feel like these two really do love each other.
Right. Yeah, it won't survive because with her, she said that she didn't introduce or let her parents know about Chris because he's not Muslim. So
yeah, she hasn't even told them. And the other part of this is not even like, oh, we can just coexist interfaith. No, each one of them has like secret plans to convert the other.
Right. And it's weird too. Like even with Chris's family, like I grew up Catholic, and my grandfather on my father's side was a Baptist preacher. My grandmother would go to church all day. Like she was one of those women. She'd go to church from like every day of the week. She was in church. Sunday she's there all day. Right. And that conversation that the father was having was making me uncomfortable. Like, oh, Jesus and oh God and Jesus, bruh, I get it. Like, if that's what you believe, like, because maybe it's just my faith. With my faith, I'm more I think that there are many different roads to God, and I think that not everybody has the same path. But with him, he's like, oh, the only way that I could even be in a room and have a conversation with you is that I'm actively going to try to convert you to my belief, my faith, and my religion, my way, through my understanding. He's going to
try to drive by baptize her at some point.
Right.
And that's like real gnarly. Like she considers that really an offensive thing. And
yeah, that is really bad. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's totally offensive.
Yeah.
Like I thought about it today. I was like, I'm open-minded, But if one of my kids came in and they were talking about they were dating a Satanist, like I would have issues. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna try to be open-minded about it, but I would have issues with it. Like they can't come in my house. You know what I mean? Bring that in here. But I would have issues with it. And it would be off-putting if I was like, okay, to hell with it. I'm gonna just start throwing holy water on them, and then like when they come in, I start hitting them with psalms and reeves, and you know what I mean. Ash Wednesday try to hit the cross on their foreheads and stuff to exorcise the demon. Like it's just weird. Like you have to be able to respect people's boundaries.
Boundaries.
Yeah, one of the weird things for me is that, especially when you talk about like Christians and Christianity, and people get like super hardcore about it, like you going to hell, and they do that. One of the things that's weird to me is that Jesus came to earth to save everybody from going to hell. Why are you trying to send everybody there? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a ticket. So just let it be, you know what I mean? But they're about that life. So that's going to be she has a hard way to go with it. Especially I've seen people like the father. She has a hard way to go with that one. He's not letting that go. And he's not going to change his mind. Like he's not changing his mind. And his mom is the same way. She's just not as vocal about it.
No, but she's kind of like his hype man. He'll say something and she's like, yep.
Yep. A house divided cannot stand.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, right. You're in trouble, bro.
The other fascinating thing, and this was like totally glossed over, but Chris starts out by saying that he is like a recovering gambling addict.
Yeah. It seems like everybody got problems on the show. Yeah.
So, like I used to watch the show intervention. That was like my jam. And there were a couple episodes where they did it on people that had gambling addictions, and gambling addictions are like, that's some serious shit. Like people gambling away their house.
Yeah.
Eh,
Yeah.
And so he says like his dad kind of like brought him back into the fold. And we see that with Eli too. Like Eli, he had addiction issues. I think it was alcohol with him. And you know,
alcohol and other
brought
stuff.
him, religion brought him back. He's like super invested in his orthodoxy, but I find that interesting. So I would love to hear more about his gambling addiction. Like, how bad did it get?
Well, he said he lost everything. So, I mean, the one thing with like alcohol is bad, gambling is bad. I think gambling is along those same lines, just because it's not illegal. And nobody, technically, if I go into a casino tonight and I mortgage my house and I walk in there with a stack of chips, there's no police officer that's going to run a vice arrest on me mortgaging my house and making bad financial decisions.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? And so because it's a little more accepted, I think that it's a lot more dangerous. I think it can be a lot more dangerous. Especially one of the things that really perked my ears up when he was talking about gambling, and I'm about to do it. He talked about sports betting. And one of the big issues I've had is because I'll play the little games on your phone. You know how you get the games and you play the little game on your phone to waste time or whatever, but you play the game on your phone, wasting time. I'll play those games every now and again. And I can only imagine somebody who starts out and they're going to bet on a football game or baseball game or whatever. And then now they have it so you could bet on like the snap. What happens is down. So is the guy comes up the plate, is he going to get a hit? You could bet on that. Is he going to get a hit? Is it going to be a single, double? Is it going to be a home run, triple? Is he going to bunt the ball? You could bet on all that. And I think that leads to bigger problems, because nobody starts, like alcohol and everything else, nobody starts out, mortgaging their house.
Right.
But it's that little bit that you get used to doing. You get the excitement of winning. You feel down because you lost, and then you trying to get back. And so I think that the sport, like that whole thing, is just a bad way. It's a bad look.
Yeah. We got to shout out Deborah. She, I think she's not feeling well, so she was going to call it a night. But thank you so much, Deborah. If you're still here, have a good night and feel better.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Deborah.
But yeah, I have a couple experiences with gambling. I could definitely see myself going down a dark path if I ever, let it get that far. One time I was in Las Vegas and I was at the Las Vegas airport. I am a slots girly. I love the slots. I don't understand how any of it works, but I could put $5 in and play that for like 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever, have some fun. Maybe I'll win, maybe I'll lose. I'm not playing with I'm not mortgaging my house, right? So right. I'm playing with like $20, so I'm cool with that. But one time I was really early at the Las Vegas airport, and they have slot machines in the just for you to hang out at while you're waiting for your flight. I almost missed my flight because I was just playing the slots.
Yeah, the one-armed bandit got serious.
I totally checked out of my reality, and I was just I'm so into these slots right now. So I can see it becoming a real issue.
Right. Well, here's something. Story time. When I was a young man, I was in Puerto Rico. I was on vacation, and they had a casino at the bottom of the hotel. So I went down and I started playing in the casino. And I was like, I'm gonna just take $20 down there and go do my thing. And anytime I wanted to go out that night, I would just go down to the casino. I play a little bit, win my going out money. So I wound up spending no money on this trip. I actually paid for my trip down there. Got to Atlantic City. I went to AC. I was like, okay, I got the fever. I know what I'm doing. Went down there and lost $40 in 5 minutes. I was like, I'm done, and tapped out. I have another friend who I worked with, and some people from my channel might be familiar with this story, but another friend I work with, she was playing blackjack, and she was playing a little clubhouse in her apartment. Thought she was good. Went down to AC playing some blackjack, and she won like $6,000. The
Oh
pit
my God.
boss, the guy who works for the casino in charge of all the tables, he comes over to her with the chips and walks over to get cash out. He said, "Look, when you leave," she was cute. So this is what happened. He said, "Look, when you leave, don't come back here. Because if you bring that money back, we are going to take it." And he was dead ass. He said, "If you bring that money back in here, we're going to take it. We're going to take it all." Lo and behold, she went back the next night. And we worked together. So I knew she went back the next night because the next day I come in the office and she's sitting there looking sad. I'm like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "You went back to AC." And she was like, "Yeah." I said,
Oh
"You gave
no.
it back?" She's like, "I gave it back." And
Oh
I said,
no.
"That's it?" And she said, "No, I took out more money." So she not only gave them their money back, but she put another 3,000 on top of it. Yeah, yeah. It was terrible. It was
Tale as
terrible.
old as time. And that's like, see, for me, when I was drinking, like at some point I'm just gonna fucking pass out, right? Like at some point I just or I'll die, you know,
Right,
like
right.
alcohol poisoning. But with gambling, and especially if you're doing like $5-10 or something, it's like it gets to the point where all of a sudden it's like, yeah, I'm taking out a payday loan, I'm taking out
Right.
I'm taking a lien on my house, and now, oh my God, I lost my house. Like, how did it get that far?
Right, right. Well, because with gambling, the way they do it is you'll go down, you'll win a little bit, and then once you start winning, you feel good about it. Yeah, I'm winning. And then once you start winning, the worst thing that can happen, like me, worst thing that happens, you can win because then
Yeah,
you feel like you know what you're doing.
yeah,
Then when you start losing, you just say, "I just want to get back to where I was, and I want to get the money that I had." So if I
yeah,
played $20, I won $30. Now I have $50, and I start losing. I just want to get my $50 back, and then I'm out. And
yeah,
then they get you chasing, and then once they got you chasing that thing, it's, I want to get back to where I was. Okay, now I just want to get back the money I had when I first showed up. Now, my luck has got to change because I was so good at this before, and I don't understand why it's going so horribly wrong now. And then before you know it, they have you just hitting that Mac machine or going out and doing a payday loan, or like you said, mortgaging your house or hawking jewelry so that you could try to get back to where you were. So they just get you chasing. And
yeah,
that's all it is. They just have you chasing the whole time. And they
yeah,
will take everything you have because the house don't lose. The house don't
yeah.
lose.
It's so sad. So I'm interested to find out more about that, because that's a big red flag for Lensa that she should be aware of, especially having a child. Like, do not commingle your finances with this man
Right.
unless like you are sure about like that he's upfront and honest about everything going on. I saw someone, Danny, mentioned 90 Day Fiance, Tiffany from 90 Day Fiance, and Ronald. That was
Yeah.
he pawned his mom's refrigerator to like,
Yeah.
that's when it's bad. Like,
Yeah. They start
if
stealing.
I
Like,
walk
it's
in my house and my fridge is gone, I'm pissed. Okay.
right. Especially they
There's
took the
not a
food
lot of
too.
luxuries in life that I rely on, but a cold Diet Coke, if I mean.
Right, right. Like they didn't even empty it. They took the food too. Like,
You gave them my Diet Coke too? Like,
right.
come on.
What am I eating tonight? Like, what?
They didn't
I
even
was
leave
having
me
dinner
like an
guests.
igloo cooler with some ice.
Right. But yeah, it's
Um,
rough. It's rough.
so I'm very fascinated by them. I feel bad because I feel like they genuinely love each other, and I don't know. These
Yeah.
families they're both on just opposite sides, and neither one of them is interested in like, oh, sure, let my son convert. Sure, Lensa will convert. No, neither side is going to give an inch.
No. I
Let's
don't see it.
revisit Lori and Eli. Eli is Orthodox Jewish, and Lori is they
Catholic.
say she's
Yeah.
Catholic, but she says she's kind of turned away from the faith after the death of her father. We see all that is going into her converting, and it's a lot. She's donating a lot of her clothes. Not clothes that I'm mad to see her get rid of, honestly. I think she's like 36. I mean, she has a good body, so like she
Well,
can.
you can pull it off. You can pull it off.
Yeah, but it's like I think one of the things was like a shirt with some guns on it. It's like, do you really need that at 36? I don't know.
Right.
But anyways, to each their own. But so she goes to her friend's house. She's donating all these clothes. She's donating her pots and pans because they're not kosher. And then the big thing is that she is going wig shopping with her future mother-in-law because as an Orthodox Jewish woman, she is going to have to wear her hair covered in public. And she has an issue with this. She's not super sensitive about Eli's religious customs. Like she kind of says things like, oh, this is crazy and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, this is his like religion. So I don't love that she like talks about it like that. But she does say like, hair is really important to me and I'll have to be covering my hair. And so I get that. What did you think about that?
Well, I think it hit me on a couple fronts. Like first, it reminded me of the Muslim burqa with the same, because it's in that same realm. I think there's a lot of parallels to it. But the one thing, when she started talking about the importance of her hair, there was a song out, I guess about 20 years ago now. Now I think about it, I'm old. There was a song out, I Am Not My Hair. And there was a verse in it where the young lady said, the woman had cancer and her hair was falling out, and she was just defiantly saying, "You're not your hair."
Oh, okay.
So, so that really like that. So on that level, that kind of hit me. That she places so much into her hair, something that could be lost if something were to go, a different way. Not wishing that on anybody, but
of course not. But yeah. I
but just
totally understand where you're going with that.
Yeah, just the reality of it. But yeah, but if it's something that she takes immense pride in, and because everybody has that one thing on their body that they're like, I'm accentuating this thing because this is my thing. And for her, that's one of the things that she finds attractive about herself. That's something she's very proud of. So in order for her to be with Eli, she has to make a choice between him and something that she finds important about herself. And I think that conflict is what's going to cause a wedge between their relationship. Not the hair thing as much as just like what she said was, when I'm talking about covering my hair with this wig, and I feel like I'm getting lost, like I was lost when I was out messing with substances and when I was doing alcohol. And and again, this is that weird recovery place where if she's in recovery, she doesn't need anything to make her second guess her positioning and herself and her self-esteem.
Sure.
Like, it could be very damaging.
She should be all about finding her identity. But I totally understand the mother-in-law too, because it's like, hey, you signed up for this, or at least you said you were willing to look into it. At least with like Lensa and Chris, like they're like secretly hoping they can convince the other one, but neither one has been like, I guess Chris has kind of been like, oh, I'm open to hearing about Islam. But Lensa has never given that perception whatsoever. So that's what makes the drive-by baptism so like, whoa, But
don't do that.
Lori is sitting here saying, yeah, like, I will convert. I want to be with you, Eli. I will convert. And then she is sitting here being like, oh, this is making me uncomfortable and this and that. And it's like, well, this is what you signed up for. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think, like, if you signed up to like go through this process, I don't think that we should be expecting Eli and his family to be like apologizing for their belief system, right? I don't know.
Right. Well, because the thing is that, you know, on one hand, her signing up for it and agreeing to do it, if you give somebody your word, then they should be able to act on what you said you were going to do. So if you promised them that you were going to convert, they, you know, I'm trying to help you convert. I'm trying to help you do the thing so you can be successful in your conversion. So
Right.
I'm not really mad at them for that. The only thing that just bothers me with the whole situation is that, again, I think that it harkens back to, you know, what might have led her to the problems that she had with finding her identity, finding who she was. And is this just another way for her to do it? Not as destructive as what she was doing before, but it's
Mhm.
along those same lines to
Yeah.
where she's getting wrapped up into something and defining herself in something that doesn't necessarily represent who she is or who she wants to be. And so, you know, from that respect, I think that, like, she, for her own mental health, she should probably pull back away from this situation, because they do have every right to expect what they expect and expect her to convert and expect her to be that, you know,
And
study and
she has a
convert.
right to like be like, you know, she started the oh, maybe it's not what I thought it was. Okay, I can't see this through. That's, I think the rabbi that she's working with is actually super understanding of like, hey, this is like a really hard process. And we
Mhm.
actually the reason why it's set up this way is because we only want the people that really want to do this, right? So it's almost like to deter you a little bit to make sure you want it really bad.
Right.
So it'll be interesting, but yeah, it's like, don't do this if you're not
Yeah.
100%, because
Right. Right. And I think
this
the sister actually made a good point with that. Because the sister was saying that if it wasn't for Eli, would you be converting to this religion? And if the answer is no, then this is probably something you shouldn't do.
right,
You know.
right. Because one would hope, like, say this relationship doesn't work out, one would hope that if you're converting to a religion, this is a religion you believe in, right? Like,
Right.
that would
Right.
be the hope.
Right, right. And it's that, and that, you know, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like the fundamentalist Islam, fundamentalist Jewish, you know, fundamentalist Christian. If you convert to those, they are heavy duty. This is
Yeah,
not a casual relationship where you just kind of show up when you feel like. This
right.
is heavy duty. It's a lot of stuff that's involved. So if it's something you're gonna participate in, you should be committed 100% to it, because it asks a lot of you,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
I want to touch on, because I don't know who the hottest mess couple is yet. I feel like the Amish
Yeah,
Elmer, I feel like they're inching their way towards the messiest, but we didn't have them this episode. So
right.
we had Ashley and Muhammad holding it down for what the fuck.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Corner of,
So
how can I blow this family up?
I, I cannot believe this sister like agreed to go on TV,
Right, right. Yeah,
or
she looks
that
terrible.
Ashley, is that her, that's her name? Yeah, or that Ashley even wanted her family on TV. I would have been like, yeah, this happened. And yeah, I'm not like, you guys are no, thank you. Like, I cannot
Right.
trust what's gonna come out of your mouth. Like, no, absolutely not. What did you think? So if you guys, just to recap, Ashley and Muhammad, they met and then they got married like the day after they met or something. Ashley's family kind of super racist, it seems like. And there's this like there's real bad tension between the families. Ashley's sister called Muhammad a terrorist, and then
Mm,
Muhammad's brother doesn't like Ashley, and they got into an altercation that ended up with Ashley breaking his stuff.
Right.
And it's real gnarly. And these two have a daughter, and that's the real sad part to all of this. And the sisters meet up. They're in where are they? Missouri?
Yeah, Missouri.
And she's living in upstate New York with Muhammad currently, but so he comes and that's like, she's super happy that he kept his word and that he came, because he said he was never going to step foot in Missouri again. And if I'm him, I'm surely never gonna be around someone who called me a terrorist if I'm him.
Right.
That's for sure. And then her sister claims she didn't even say that.
That's the right there. I think that would be the point where like, we can talk all day about difference of opinion. We could talk all day about maybe you have a viewpoint and I have a different viewpoint. We can have that discussion. But if we can't even agree on basic facts, there's no point in us having a conversation. There's no point in him coming down, because it only invites problems. If she can't admit what actually happened and say, yeah, I said it, I would appreciate that more than, I never said that. That's not what happened. I don't know what you're talking about. I know. Why would I do that? And you have both sisters saying she did it.
The third sister is like, nah, she totally said it.
Yeah. I was there. You said it. Yeah, it was terrible. So
she was like, yeah, we were all like shocked that she actually said that. And like,
right. I didn't know what to do. Yeah, she's totally out of, like, she's out of well, because I think that, like, Muhammad's situation, I think that or so many of the people who are on the show, I think she's so committed to her belief system that she doesn't realize how bad she looks or how poorly she looks on the show. And the sad part is that she might be in a community where they support her. Like, you're right. You gave them hell. You told them what's what. You told them where it is. And if they can't handle the truth, then that's too bad for them. So I think the sister is in like a weird place too. Like, because she's not shy about, like, usually if you catch the right people at the right time, they could be crazy as hell, by themselves, and maybe even online. But if you talk to them, they kind of, okay, yeah, I can see where I was kind of coming off like a dick. And they'll back off of it. She was like, nope, I'm okay with everything I said. No problems.
And what's so interesting, like, differently, like with Chris and Lensa, we see how important Christianity is to Chris's family and how important Islam is to Lensa's family. They're both devoted. I have not heard one word about religion from Ashley's family, only negative stereotyping of Muhammad. That's all we hear. So I think she's Catholic or Catholic-ish or something.
I think they said they were Catholic in the beginning, because she said we're from a small town where it's white, conservative, and Catholic.
Yeah.
So
but
she's Catholic.
We have not heard them say, oh, but this is so important to me. They're just shit talking this man and his belief system for no reason. Like, I have not seen. Now, what I will say is, so he comes to Missouri fully ready to antagonize this family.
Right. And Teresa actually had a good point too, because she dropped the super thanks.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, hold on. Why can't I? Oh, there we go. I was like, I went to highlight it.
Teresa.
Thank you, Teresa.
She actually had a good point where she said Muhammad is looking for a redneck beatdown in Missouri, and that's where I'm at. Like, I understand you want to stand on business. I get that, and you don't want to back down. I get that too. But at the same time, why look for problems where there doesn't have to be problems? If he shows up and he's in full garb, like he's back in Saudi Arabia, something he will wear in Saudi Arabia, and he's walking through Missouri, it's going to be a problem. But I think you're looking for a problem, because he kind of gave the game away when he said, yeah, if things go bad, then they're not going to talk to my wife and they're not talking to my kids anymore. And
Mhm.
so this is his way of cutting his wife away, breaking his wife away from her family.
Yeah.
And I think that is a crap thing to do. Like, I can't express enough. Why look for a problem where there doesn't have to be a problem? If you think that, Missouri is not,
I was going to say,
especially-
Roxy is pointing out, like, we don't claim this family. This is like, we want to be excluded from the conversation. So let's be fair to Missouri. There are trash people everywhere. And,
right.
yes. But,
Yeah.
it's so funny. I would totally do some shit like this. You want to call me a terrorist? Okay, cool. Bet. Let's do this, right? Like
We'll see what happens.
I see what Muhammad was doing there, and I can't say that I would not have done something similar if I was in the same situation. You're gonna talk shit about me. I will do all the things you think I am.
Right.
But not even, like, and it's not even. These are his clothes.
Well, no, because she said that she tries to get him to wear that at home in Rochester, and he refuses to do it.
Right, he doesn't want to stand out. But yeah,
if you go to Missouri,
is going to take it to a place, he'll meet them there.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
he went to Missouri, like, what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how many. Like, I don't know what the Muslim population is in Missouri, but it's probably bigger in Rochester. I'm willing to bet. It's certainly in a town where they like, we don't know any Muslims, and that's where the
Certainly not in her
conversation-
family.
Right. And that's where the conversation is a little weird too, because they're not necessarily having a religious conversation as much as they're having a cultural conversation. Because they didn't, like, when she's criticizing Islam, the sister, she's not criticizing Islam from the respect of, well, this is the biblical stance versus what it says in the Quran. This is what, you know what I mean? Like, this versus that. She's just merely saying, well, I want women to be strong and independent. And in Islam, it depends on what part of Islam you're talking about. You know what I mean? And not everybody, like Catholics, not all Muslims practice Islam the same way as fundamentalist Muslims do. Like
we
Catholics
could see,
do.
like with Eli, there's variations of Judaism, and with the levels of how strict in your practicing you are. Not every Jewish person keeps kosher.
Right.
But Cody Brown will keep kosher for you.
Right. And it also do Hanukkah.
Yeah. He
That's a
gave
cool
Logan a bar
holiday.
mitzvah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a cool holiday. I like it.
Exactly. Oh man, this show what do you think? Overall thoughts on Forbidden Love?
Well, I think that Forbidden Love will be interesting, especially as it starts to gear up. Because we also have to keep in mind that this is the second episode, and it's already kind of turning up a 10 on the stinkometer. So it's gonna be a hot mess. Like, I think that by the time they get the show really rolling, especially with the Amish couple, the Amish and the English girl, I think that's gonna be a terrible situation.
I keep forgetting that she's pregnant. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That is a mess.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, what she strikes me is because you see her friend, like she apparently has a friend who also went and got a Amish guy too.
Right.
And looking at that couple, it looks like, and the feeling I have is that she started reaching a certain age and she started getting nervous, and she was like, the hell with it, I gotta have a family. And she went out and got somebody who she thought she could control, and it just didn't go the way she thought it was going to go. Like, because once he got here, he got a little taste of that freedom. And the thing that you liked about him is no longer applies to him because he's not, riding around on horse-drawn buggies. He's
right.
He's of the world now.
Did you watch Seeking Brother Husband?
Yes.
Okay, that show was kind of a miss for me. I thought it just wasn't I don't think it was cast right. So I don't know if they'll do a second season of that. This is perfect casting.
Yeah.
No, I mean, if we're looking for just the most extreme examples of what culture clash interfaith relationships can be, this is it. Of course, is this good representation? No, but is that why people watch reality TV? also no. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the worst possible scenario. Like I think that they have people who are diametrically opposed from one another, and fundamentally, foundationally, their relationships won't work because they
Like,
are on different spheres.
I don't know who I feel worse for, Muhammad and Ashley or Lensa and Chris. At least, I mean, we are going to witness the drive-by baptism. That's pretty offensive if you're Lensa, but like, I don't know what's worse. Like, both families are like actively trying to
Yeah,
make
to
this
sabotage.
not happen.
Well, I think that with Ashley and Muhammad, just because they have a child together,
Yeah, true.
you know, and they
True.
have to, like, no matter what happens, they have to be able to work it out. They have to figure it out between the two of them.
And
And
how do you, if you're Muhammad and see, like for Ashley, how do you allow, because you've created a life
Mhm.
that your sister just at least 50% just disrespected your own daughter. I don't know. I think because it appears that Muhammad is still like practicing his religion. So it
Oh,
would
yeah.
appear that they would be intending to raise their daughter as a Muslim. So the fact that your sister just said that about your husband is derogatory about your daughter. And how
Right.
can you even stand for that? You know?
Right. Well, I mean, that's the weird thing about, like, and that's where I think the dynamics of a lot of these shows kind of come into play, especially if they really talk about it. Because one of the crazy things, like if it was a stranger or somebody you're friends with, it's easier to disassociate yourself from those folks than it would be for somebody you grew up with. And you kind of give a little more of a pass to people like, brothers and sisters. You give them a little more of a pass, but probably in some cases where you shouldn't have given them a pass, but you give them that pass because you remember the person that they were. You remember how they made you feel. And you hope that because of their respect and love for you, that they will change and that they will see the error of their ways. But in this particular situation, I don't see as it stands right now, I don't see a pathway where the sister's all of a sudden going to say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and give Muhammad a chance because I see how happy he makes you. Anything this man does is going to be negative as far as the sister, at least how she's presenting now. Anything he does is going to be negative as far as she's concerned. You know what I mean? So I don't think she's willing to accept him on any front. So,
but like, what has Muhammad done besides be Muslim?
Muslim.
Like, has he done anything to her? Because like, why does she have this animosity towards him? That's my question.
Well, she's making the sister would take the position that the sister, the mom, and the other sister, the two sisters, they take the position that Muhammad is a little controlling, and he does display that in the show when he's telling her to put on clothes that she doesn't necessarily want to wear, and he's telling her to do things that she doesn't necessarily want to do, and he's insistent upon it. So from that respect, I can see some complaint, I can see some pushback, but at the same time, I would like to think that I raised my daughter to be a certain way. And I cite my daughter just because stereotypically it's easier to do it this way. I would like to think that I raised her a certain way, to have a certain level of pride, dignity, and self-respect. And especially when she chooses partners. But if she chooses somebody who I don't like, and maybe he's asking her to do things that I don't necessarily approve of, at some point I have to pull in a balance of respecting her decision and her autonomy and separating that from my belief system. So is it, should I impose myself because I don't believe in it, or should I respect her decision? And I think that that's the very careful, delicate balance that, these guys are kind of clogging through as they put on their steel-toed boots and kick that line, because they're basically saying, I don't want you with him because I don't want you with him. And it's ignoring the fact that she has a child with this dude now. So, and she's married to him. So she has to go through a divorce. She has to figure out what she's going to do as far as child support, child care, child custody, and everything else that they have going on, like assets that they may have in common. It's a whole bunch of stuff that is in play now with regard to the sister plus her feelings and her emotions, her love and compassion, because I think that they genuinely care about each other. So you're asking her, the sister's asking her to turn her back on her relationship.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a bad, like, if this wasn't a reality show, I would feel terrible for Ashley, because she's in such a horrible position.
Yeah.
It's a horrible position.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, that wraps up Forbidden Love season 1, episode 2, and Sister Wives season 3, episode 4. Thank you guys for joining us. James, what do you have on the docket coming up?
Well, I have some more videos coming. I just dropped one about Christine and talking about her struggles with postpartum depression while she's filming season 1 and like in the early part of Sister Wives, and how that affected. I also did like a little skit piece in there. So I try to have a little fun with the whole situation. But
Nice.
I'm going to be doing this week, I will be dropping another video, Cody versus Cody. So the first Cody versus the Cody we see in season 18 and the Cody we have now, particularly how the first Cody, when they first started the show, he came out and said that I am going to disprove everything about people's stereotypical views of polygamy. And then by season 18, he becomes the stereotypical views of everybody's view of polygamy. So I'll be talking about that. Also, might be doing a video on a reaction of a video you just released about 20 hours ago. The last video you did.
Okay.
So, yeah. So
Nice.
look for that. Yeah, because that was interesting. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Hey, nice. We'll check that out.
So what do you have coming up?
Lizzie B, moderator to the stars.
Yeah.
Let's see. And I think we had...
Oh, I saw somebody else too.
Yeah. Sorry if we missed any of the other moderators, but thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We will see you guys in our next respective videos. Oh yeah, James.
Tiffany H.
Oh, Tiffany, yes, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. All right, you guys, have a good night, and thank you for tolerating my tech issues.
Right.
All right,
guys, have a great night.